Hello everyone, in this presentation we are going to deal with the topic rotational spectra of diatomic molecules. Molecules have rotational energy owing to the rotational motion of the nuclei about their center of mass. Rotational transition thus corresponds to transition of the molecule from one rotational energy level to the other through gain or loss of a photon. Like all other forms of molecular energy, rotational energy is also quantized. This means that a molecule cannot have an arbitrary amount of rotational energy, but its energy is limited to certain definite values depending on the shape and size of the molecule concerned. The permitted energy value is also called the rotational energy levels, and it may be calculated for any molecule by solving the Schrödinger equation for the system represented by that molecule. Now let us consider the case of rotational spectra of diatomic molecule in detail. Here we are considering a diatomic molecule which is rigid and linear. We know that the rotation of a three-dimensional body may be quite complex, and it is convenient to resolve it into rotational components about three mutually perpendicular directions to the center of gravity. Thus a body has three principal moments of inertia, one about each axis, and they are usually designated as IA, IB and IC. Now let us see the case of linear molecule. A linear molecule is one in which all the atoms are arranged in a straight line, as in the case of HCl, OCS, etc. The three directions of rotation may be taken as one about the bond axis, the second one is the end over end rotation to the plane of paper, and the third one is the end over end rotation at right angles to the plane. So here the moments of the end over end rotation about the plane of paper and the end over end rotation at right angles to the plane are equal, and that of the rotation about the bond axis is very small. Thus we can say that IA equal to 0. Thus for a linear molecule, IB equal to IC and IA equal to 0. Here the figure shows a rigid diatomic molecule treated as two masses M1 and M2 that are joined by a rigid bar, which is the bond whose bond length is given by R0 is equal to R1 plus R2, where R1 and R2 are the distances of the masses from the center of gravity. Here the molecule rotates end over end about the point C, which is center of gravity, and the balancing equation of the system is given by M1 R1 is equal to M2 R2. We know that the moment of inertia of a system about the center of gravity is given by the product of the mass and the square of the distance between the mass and the center of gravity of the system. So in the case of a rigid diatomic molecule, the moment of inertia about the center of gravity is defined by I is equal to M1 R1 square plus M2 R2 square. We know that the balancing equation in the case of a rigid diatomic molecule is M1 R1 is equal to M2 R2. Substituting this equation, we get I is equal to R1 R2 into M1 plus M2. We also know that the bond length R0 is equal to R1 plus R2. Therefore, M1 R1 is equal to M2 R2 equal to M2 into R0 minus R1. Rearranging this equation, we get R1 is equal to M2 R0 divided by M1 plus M2. Similarly, R2 is equal to M1 R0 divided by M1 plus M2. So, replacing R1 and R2 in the equation I is equal to R1 R2 into M1 plus M2, we get I is equal to M1 M2 divided by M1 plus M2 into R0 square. We can write M1 M2 divided by M1 plus M2 as mu, which is the reduced mass of the system, and hence I is equal to mu R0 square. This equation defines the moment of inertia conventionally in terms of the atomic masses and the bond length R0 of the system. The rotational energy levels allowed for a rigid diatomic molecule can be obtained by using Schrödinger equation, and it is given by the expression Ej equal to h cut square divided by 8 pi square I into j plus 1 joules. Here j is the rotational quantum number, and it can take any integral values from 0 to upwards, that is j is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. It is a consequence of the solution to the Schrödinger equation that restricts J to have integral values, and it is this restriction that allows only certain discrete rotational energy levels to the molecule. Here H is the Planck's constant, I is the moment of inertia, and it can be either IB or IC because both are equal. We can express the differences between these energies of the radiation emitted or absorbed as a consequence of the changes between the energy levels in terms of frequency, that is nu is equal to delta E divided by h cut hertz, or in terms of a wave number, which is given by nu bar is equal to delta E divided by h cut c centimeter raised to -1. It is convenient to express the energies in terms of wave number. So epsilon j is equal to Ej divided by h cut c, that is equal to h cut divided by 8 pi square Ic into j plus 1 per centimeter. Here j is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. And c is the velocity of light, and it is expressed in units of centimeter per second. So if we substitute B is equal to h cut divided by 8 pi square Ic per centimeter, then epsilon j is equal to B into j plus 1 per centimeter. Here B is the rotational constant for the moment of inertia Ib. If we are using the moment of inertia Ic, then the rotational constant C can be used. The figure shows the allowed rotational energies of a rigid diatomic molecule. For a given value of J, the corresponding epsilon J values are shown. For J is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. the corresponding epsilon J values are 0, 2b, 6b, 12b, 20b, 30b, 42b, etc. For j equal to 0, the corresponding epsilon j equals 0. So we may say that at the ground rotational state, the molecule is not rotating at all. But for j equal to 1, the rotational energy epsilon 1 equal to 2b, and a rotating molecule thus has the lowest angular momentum in this case. And if we continue to increase our j values, we can calculate the corresponding epsilon j values, and there is no limit to the rotational energy of the molecule we have. But in practice, there comes a situation where the centrifugal force of a rapidly rotating diatomic molecule becomes greater than the strength of the bond. In such cases, the molecule is disrupted, but in normal temperatures, this situation is not observed. In order to discuss the rotational spectrum, we need to consider the difference between the rotational levels in a molecule. So let us consider a molecule which is in the ground rotational state, J equal to 0 state. If an incident radiation is absorbed by this molecule, it gets excited to J equal to 1 state. The energy absorbed during this process is given by epsilon J equal to 1 minus epsilon J equals 0 equal to 2b minus 0, that is equal to 2b per centimeter. And this is equal to nu bar J equal to 0 to J equal to 1 equals 2b per centimeter. So we can say that during the transition of the molecule from J equal to 0 state to J equal to 1, the absorption or the spectral line will appear at a distance of 2b per centimeter. So if we are considering a molecule which is excited from J equal to 1 state to J equal to 2 state, more absorption of energy is required. And in this case, the energy difference between the levels is given by 4b per centimeter. So in general, we can say that for a molecule that is getting transition from state J to state J plus 1 would require an energy difference equal to 2b into J plus 1 per centimeter. The figure shows the allowed transition between the energy levels of a rigid diatomic molecule and the corresponding spectrum which arises from them. So for the transitions from J equal to 0 to J equal to 1 state, J equal to 1 to J equal to 2, J equal to 2 to J equal to 3, the corresponding absorption spectral lines will occur at a distance of 2b, 4b, 6b, etc. per centimeter. So here we can say that the transition occurs from the particular level only to the immediate neighbor, that is just above or below that level, and not to any other sequence of transitions like J equal to 0 to J equal to 2, J equal to 2 to J equal to 4, etc. Here we consider only those transitions which occur to the immediate neighbor. So we can say that the selection rule for such transition is given by delta J is equal to plus or minus 1, and all other transitions are forbidden in the case of rotational transition between two energy levels. Rotational spectra can be observed only for molecules like HCl, CO, etc. that are heteronuclear, and not for molecules like N2, O2, etc. that are homonuclear. The reason why homonuclear molecules cannot exhibit a rotational spectra is due to the fact that there is no dipole component change during the rotation of such molecules, and hence they cannot interact with any radiation. As a result, they cannot give a rotational spectra. In the beginning itself, we have rejected the rotation about the bond axis by considering Ia approximately equal to 0. Now we can consider two reasons for this. For the first reason is that the moment of inertia is very small about the bond, so that the energy levels would be extremely widely spaced, and this means that the molecule requires a great energy to be raised from J equal to 0 to J equal to 1 state, and such transitions do not occur under normal spectroscopic conditions. Thus, all diatomic molecules are in J equal to 0 state for the rotation about the bond axis, and in such cases the molecule is not rotating at all. The second reason is that even if such a transition occurs, there is no dipole change and hence there is no spectrum. The rotational spectra of a diatomic molecule has got many applications like the determination of bond length from the B value, that is the rotational constant value. As a result, a diatomic molecule can serve as an example of how the determined moments of inertia can be used to calculate bond lengths. Thank you.